Hello and welcome back to another episode on the KenOhwee Channel. Today I want to talk about the 6 disappointing figures I've reviewed this year. As much as I love toys and action figures in general, there are some that just brings your expectations really high only to have the end product throw it out the window. And I may have given some of these products slightly better ratings in the beginning, but after playing with it, they became more and more frustrating. More flaws started to show, and as always, I like to highlight that the figures featured on this list are based on my own personal preference, and I hope you can respect them. So, without further ado, let's begin with number 6. Yamaguchi Batman. The Batman with a chin that kills. With all the improvements the amazing Yamaguchi line has made with their figures, I was really excited that they were attempting to do a Batman figure, and the promo pictures were promising and worrying at the same time, especially on the cape, and those worries came true. The cape comes with so many pieces that are made out of hard plastic that it can be a really daunting task just to pose the cape or get it out the way when you want to pose your figure. Not to mention, it can hurt if you're not careful with it. And there isn't much option in leaving the cape out since he has a massive jetpack looking thing on his back when you remove the cape, and not to mention, his chin was a little bit too exaggerated for my taste, and messing up the Bat logo just brought the whole figure down for me. But at least his accessories and articulation is good, but not good enough to save this figure. Number 5. DEEN Steppenwolf. They really had a wonderful opportunity with this figure. They were to be the only ones other than the DC multiverse to produce a Steppenwolf action figure, and I feel they did just enough to be better than the DC multiverse figure, which isn't saying much, but still they didn't do enough for it to be an amazing figure. The paint applications were great, though I do wish the details was engraved a little bit deeper, but the more disappointing factor is the stability of this figure. His knees and feet are a little loose, and given an accessory which has all the weight dedicated to the blade portion of the axe, they are pretty much not giving this figure any chance to stand upright, let alone hold his axe up. The articulation is decent, but compared to other action figures in the current market today, it is simply not good enough, and I was certainly disappointed as I had really high hopes for this figure. What a missed opportunity. Such a shame. Number 4. Mayfax Superman. The angriest Superman face collection. After all the efforts Mayfax has made in improving their figure quality, it felt like they went back to their original design with this one. The design with all the flaws. Extremely weak toes, which makes this figure extremely difficult to stand upright, and that alone is frustrating as hell. Coupled with loose joints and a collection of faces that'll put Hulk to shame, I felt they had the opportunity to revamp their previous Superman figure design, but got lazy and came up with this instead. Here's hoping another movie featuring Superman will come out soon, so we'll have our perfectly articulated Superman figure. A boy can only dream. Number 3. SH Figure Arts Captain America.
Get this man a shield.
How could you disobey the orders of the King of Wakanda, Bandai? Releasing a Captain America figure with no shield, and you thought by giving us the stuff that was featured in a tiny portion of the entire movie makes up for that?
Oh, hell no.
Not to mention, he looks more like a younger version of Santa Claus than he does Chris Evans. Despite having a decent amount of articulation, which is pretty much the standard SH Figure Arts articulation with no bicep swivels, the overall package does not justify the price you're paying for this figure. I'll say this one last time, Bandai.
Get this man a shield.
Number 2. DAH Wonder Woman. And we're back to the DAH figure once again. This time, the crime is more severe. How could you not put an ab cut on an action figure, especially in this generation of modern action figure engineering. And this is a 7-inch figure. The soft engraving on this figure was distracting, especially on its accessories, and her limited posability took away all the wonder from this figure, unless you're a collector who really likes spaghetti looking lassos. Number 1. Mafex Cyborg. You've seen the pictures. This figure did not land on the top of the list because it broke, even though it was indeed factored in, but because of how flimsy this figure is. I just happen to be the unlucky one with a broken figure. Their paint application and accessory count is good, but the lack of ab crunch and the fact plenty of other things that were intact but still slowly coming apart is evident that this figure did not live up to its expectation in terms of articulation and figure quality. And the same like the Superman figure, I feel Mafex took a step back on this figure, which is why this is my most disappointing figure of 2018. That concludes my list of disappointing figures of 2018. Do you agree or disagree with the list? I'd like to hear your thoughts and your own disappointing figure list of 2018. Share them with me in the comment section down below. And with that all said, I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your kind words on yesterday's video. All your encouragement and positivity was extremely heartwarming. And for someone to actually be a Patreon so quickly meant a lot to me. So thank you to my amazing effort Patreon, Jamie DEEN, for supporting this channel. I can't thank you enough. And of course, thank you all very much for tuning in, and if you guys enjoyed today's episode, do hit that like button and subscribe if you're new for more content in the future. If you wish to support me further and this channel directly, do consider donating on Patreon. I hope all of you are having an amazing week, and I'll see you guys in the final video of 2018. The top 10 best action figures of 2018. Stay tuned.